Part 2 of the Battle Pass has now begun. That means a ritual subverted can no longer be progressed on if you do not have the premium pass. But with part 2, Engine of Change, we get a whole new slew of rewards. Very nice. On the free track, you get some upgrade tokens, 2 keys, a mythic bag of holding with the maximum amount of slots any bag has right now, 72, and an astral lockbox. You don't need a key to open those. If you do have the premium pass, you'll be able to get 2 astral lockboxes, a coal moat, an epic collar upgrade pack, so you'll get just a collar there, you'll get some insignia powder, and 5 greater shards. Very nicely, they added in the powder and the shards because of how low value those epic collars actually are. And then a mount choice pack, this being a cosmetic mount choice pack. It's got the Balgora there, the Hound of the Forge, Sutuk's Blue Spider, and the Demon Sled. Alternatively, 2 mount upgrade token packs. Some of those mounts are pretty exclusive, with them saying that the Sutuk Blue Spider is unique, hasn't been seen before. But like the Demon Sled you get for 600 Astral Diamonds, I'm not quite sure why that's there. But ultimately, this time around, we have to do zone quests to make progress, versus with the first part, we had to do abyssal hunts. So what quests are those? Well, they're quests within our Bondolin. You're going to have to unlock this area. You're going to have to do the Whispers in the Dark quest to unlock Men's Branson and then head to the Demon Web Pits in our Bondolin. Now, I'm assuming that any old repeatable quest will give you the progress. Complete this. It does indeed. It gives us that 75 Battle Pass XP, giving us some more progress on that part. Now, I've personally got the Premium Pass. It will cost you 2,000 Zen right now to do so with 20% off. That's probably the best you can get right now. And the main reason I did it was to get the new companion, Gromph. You have to get the Premium Pass in order to obtain him. He does have the offense power of Critical Strike, which is very much like we see with the Black Dragon Ionstone companion. It gives that 7.5% Critical Strike on Mythic. But right now that companion is not exactly available. Although it might be in the Zen store for you. I do not know. So instead of getting that, you could get Gromph. On Mythic, he'll similarly give 7.5% Critical Strike. And that's pretty useful for a damage dealer build for AoE content where you're not going to run the Batiri. And for a healer, it can also be pretty useful if you need the Critical Strike. Paladin healers don't really need that because they get Critical Strike as their forte. But other healers might need it. Instead of, let's say, the Drizzt here, you'd run the full Critical Strike instead of the crit severity in like a Bard or a Cleric. And so let's claim that Gromph and go and test him out. So putting him in our inventory there, we can see he's bound to our account. You cannot sell him, which is a little bit deceiving because when you look at the tooltip here, it says just bind on equip. It doesn't mention anything about binding to your account, but it will. All of these rewards are pretty much bound. This Vanity Pet Choice Pack as well, bound, but we can have a look before you choose any of them by right clicking on them. This is the Ravenous Abyssal Chick. Just is, yeah, an abyssal chicken with some glowy effects. Your mini daemon there, your Garistro, and your spike, or 10 gold. Some keys, some shards, and that free coal moat. If you missed out on it, well, you missed out on it. Unless you have the premium pass, you cannot get it anymore. And yes, if you do have the premium pass, you will obtain XP for all the parts that have gone by and are currently active at the same time. So if I was not finished the first part, whenever I gain the 75 XP for doing a quest here, I would also gain that for the previous part. Meaning you can still buy the battle pass all the way up to the third part, and once you start making progress on the third part, you'll make the exact same progress on all the others. So let's get this Gromph equipped and tested. Is he gonna be any good? So let's get him equipped on our test build here. Keep in mind he is account wide, so you will be able to go and claim him on all your other characters via the promo tab. He should be at the bottom there. He is indeed. But the Black Dragon Ironstone was also account-wide through the Dragon Supplies pack, although I don't believe you can get it anymore. So let's get him upgraded to Mythic so we can get a fair test versus all the other companions, but normally upgrading him won't do much. Then we head to our dummies and let's see how well he performs. So just against one target here, we can see what attacks he's doing. If you don't know, Gromph is the second boss in the Demon Web Pits dungeon, so he's going to have similar attacks, which, yeah, it does look like it. He's got his battle axe there, he strikes once or twice, he can summon a demon, which just roars at him, and then the demon disappears and he keeps swinging with his axe. Now that did not look like an awful lot of damage, but we'll open our parser here and get some good data. While it's doing that, we can have a quick look at the powers and what it says he should be doing. So Hacking Frenzy, just some powerful attacks with his axe. Summon Balgora, yeah, just as it states. And then he just swings at nearby enemies with his axe. So nothing amazing there. And again, his offensive power is going to be exactly like the Black Dragon Ironstone there. 7.5% critical strike. But that doesn't mean you can't just use both of them. A healer can totally use that. On a DPS, if you're looking to get like a meta build, you will generally run these kind of companions. The Minsk, the Knight, the Tamed Raptor, the Batiri, the Alchemist, or the Golden Cat, or the Dark Dealer. Those are the usual companions people run with. And so if you're running an AoE build, so you're not against bosses, then you could switch to the Black Dragon Ironstone and then adjust your build a little bit. That is what people do in endgame, but that doesn't mean Gromph isn't very good. He is. For a budget build, if you're just working your way towards endgame, you don't have all these fancy stats here and you can make use of that, then he's decent. He will provide a chance to get those critical hits and also those critical heals on a healer. But just having a quick look at the data here, you can see that's Gromph right here. Nearly 13,000 DPS there, just with his Hacking Frenzy and his swing. So that's not adding up too much. And then the Balgor that he can summon can do upwards of 100,000 damage. But all things considered, that's not much damage over time, at least. So in single target, he performs pretty poorly. If we add both the damage together from him and his summon, it's gonna be around 17,000 DPS, which ranks pretty low, at least on the single target DPS list here. You'd be wanting to go with something like Tomb Spider, Greenscale Bowman, Batiri, Pseudo Dragon. Those are much more reliable, better options. But since he's primarily focused on dealing damage against lots of targets, let's see how well he does against them. So that's enough for the single target. I think we've got our conclusion there. He's not any good. So for AoE, set the enemies to 35k rating, summon them all here, and then we position like this and they'll attack me and the companion will go and aggro them and start killing them. First things first, he does summon his Balgora, which does his AoE attack, which is a pretty narrow cone, so it's not really going to hit a lot of targets if they're spread out, but we'll see how long it takes to kill these guys and then total up his DPS. So just about kills them all here. There we go. And he takes, yeah, minute 20 seconds to kill them, totaling his DPS there. It's about 20,000, so that's not too bad on the AoE damage chart. 20,000 is going to put him at about 20th position here, but that's still really low. Like for companion and AoE compared to how they were, that's pretty underwhelming, but he's at least going to be somewhat useful. 20,000 versus nearly 40,000. Yeah, but the cost for these, if you don't have those, well, he's an okay option to use for area damage. So in conclusion, he's no good in single target. He's meh in AoE. I would take him on questing if you didn't have anything else. And I wouldn't personally go out of my way to get an AoE damage companion. If you don't intend to use his bonus, which is the critical strike, then do not upgrade him. You can always use him as summoned, just on epic, like I do with the Shadowkai Witch. Leave him on purple, no need to upgrade. You'll only gain like 1 or 2% maximum damage by upgrading to mythic, so not worth it if you're not actually going to use that bonus that he provides, Gromph right here, the critical strike. So ultimately, that's that. If you want to be making progress on the Battle Pass, which I would recommend, pick up your free mythic bag, inventory space, always useful. Make sure to go ahead and do your random skirmish in your random dungeon queue. You do not have to go and do the advanced and the trial. They can just be a lot more risky whether you'll actually succeed or end up just wasting your time. Just go with the skirmish and dungeon queue. As long as you don't get the demon web pits, the dungeon queue will be over in 20 minutes max. Skirmish queue 5 to 10 minutes. Just do that daily and you'll get enough XP within 2 weeks, no problem. You have 5 weeks to make progress on this battle pass before the next part begins. And when the next part begins, the previous part is over. Just like we have now. If you missed out on getting the call mode, you missed out. Unless you have the premium pass, you cannot make progress on any of the previous parts. So hopefully this was somewhat insightful, you guys, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.